time now for Perspective, and today's guest is a young French sailor with an impressive list of adventures. Guirec Soudée rowed alone across the Atlantic, survived a winter on Greenland's ice floes, and solo navigated the treacherous Northwest Passage at just 24 years old, the youngest sailor to do so. His exploits are sometimes overshadowed, though, by his co-captain, a red hen named Monique, who joined him on an around-the-world voyage when he was just 21. In just a few weeks' time, he'll be setting sail for his next big adventure, the legendary Route du Rhum between Saint-Malo in Brittany and Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe. Guirec Soudée, thank you so much for being with us on France 24. Very excited to have you.
Thank you.
You've crossed the Atlantic before, but this is going to be your first Route du Rhum. What does this race represent for you?
Yeah, exactly. It will be the first time to cross the Atlantic on a racing boat for me. Normally, I'm always going very slowly on the water. So the Route du Rhum is very, very popular. I'm very excited to be on this race and honor because there's some very famous skipper actually, and say it will come very, very soon. So I'm still trying to practice because it's all new for me because before I never been on this kind of boat. So have a lot of work to do.
Okay, and you've become somewhat known, as I mentioned, for your sailing companion, the chicken,
yeah.
Monique. I do want to talk about her. Can you tell the story of how she came into your life?
Yeah, sure. So I started my trip when I was 21, and I was thinking to have animals on board, one animal, like maybe a cat. I say, oh no, a cat, I don't like, it's interesting, but I don't want a cat on board. Maybe
they don't love water either?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. And I was thinking about a dog. Say, oh yeah, dog take too much space on the boat, will be too difficult. I say, oh, maybe a hen to have some fresh eggs. And I asked some professional, like farmer, before I left France, and they told me, okay, the hen will not give you any eggs because she will be stressful. And I say, oh, okay. So I was very sad. So I start on my own. And when I stop in Canaries Island, I met Monique and we fell in love together. So she jumped on board and we crossed the Atlantic together. But I never had any like chicken before, so I didn't know what will happen, you know. So I was saying to myself, maybe if she's making too much trouble, I will hit her, you know. No, I can I can say that no, it's not possible because she's my best friend, and maybe she will follow overboard. And no, after 28 days, she gave me like 25 eggs.
Wow.
And we arrived in Caribbean, and we keep going like for a few years around the world.
That's amazing. Fresh eggs from Monique. So they're not the most seaworthy animals, but she enjoyed the boat.
She enjoyed the boat. Oh yeah, of course. And she knows how to swim, she surf, kite surf, she practice a lot of sports.
And that was almost 10 years ago now, so Monique must be an old lady. How's she doing? Is she going to come with you this time?
No, she will not come with me. No, she almost 9 years old, so she didn't lay any eggs anymore, but she's still in good fit. And but it's not possible for her to come with me on the Route du Rhum, unfortunately.
She'll be thinking about you from home.
Yeah, exactly.
The Route du Rhum usually takes about 2 weeks, as you said. It's a speed race, but when you rowed across the Atlantic last year, you spent over 100 days at sea by yourself. You've actually just published 2 books about that experience, one for children and one for adults that's called L'Océan me dit revient, The Ocean Tells Me to Come Back, not translated into English yet.
Not yet.
What was the hardest part of that rowing experience?
So I think the harder part was when I come back from America, from Chatham in Cape Cod to Brittany, had a tropical storm 2 weeks after I left, and I capsized with my boat, and the boat was just full of water, and it was not possible for me to put back the boat on the right position. So I stayed maybe 6-7 hours with no wetsuit,
Wow.
you know, like on the hull of the boat, trying to put the boat back, and after like hours, I arrived. I did it, but I lost all communication with land for 90 days. So was not possible to call any people, and had no weather forecast too, and the weather was bad, and sometimes had the wind against me, so I was rowing, and the currents pushing me. Like one day, like I was rowing for 3 weeks. And I stay at the same position for 3 weeks. Oh. So that's hard.
And what was that like, being totally cut off from contact? Did you worry that you weren't going to survive?
Oh no, it was good. I like to be cut off the road, actually. I think a chance to do that because normally, like I see now, when you go back like to normal life, you at 100% all the time and you full connected, you know, and so it's good to be cut and to ask you the good question, to enjoy like the nature, and you can ask you like the good question. You've got time, and time it's a chance.
Yeah, it's sort of a digital detox, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
And as a sailor, you do come in really close contact with a part of our natural world that most people don't get to see, the very middle of the ocean. Do you think it's made you more conscious of the need to protect the environment?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I cross a lot of animals too on the sea, but some bad pollution too, a lot of plastic, of course. And when you see that, you're quite sad.
Now, you're just 30 years old. You've already done a lot, but you've also said that you're kind of constantly coming up with new dreams. What are some of the next adventures that you have in mind?
But like the big next adventure will be the Vendée Globe. I don't know if you heard about this race.
Yeah, a big race. It's called the Everest of the Seas.
Yeah, exactly.
Major sailing,
that's
right?
we say. So you go around the world solo with no assistance, and on this big boat, like so the IMOCA. So my boat, the name is freelance.com, and so you go like around the world from the three Cape Hope, Cape Lewin, Cape Horn, and for maybe 3 months, and on the South Sea, so it can be huge, and that's nice.
And I'm curious about what you eat when you're sailing, because on the Route du Rhum website it says your favorite freeze-dried food is scrambled eggs. That doesn't sound as good as the fresh eggs you had from Monique.
For sure, no, for sure. You eat dry food actually because it's very light and you can keep it for a long time. On the beginning, you can take some fresh food and some fruits and a vegetable, but the food is very important on board. Yeah, what I say sometimes it's like my carburant. You know, I don't know if we can say
your
that.
fuel. Your
my
fuel.
Exactly.
And what's the first thing you're going to eat when you come back and you can have normal food?
Maybe like avocado, like juice of orange.
Yeah, something nice from because you'll. All right, Guirec Soudée, thank you so much for joining us here on France 24. We're going to have to leave it there, but we will be keeping an eye on your journey. A reminder to our viewers that the Route du Rhum sets sail on November 6th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Actually, you can find my English, like for my first adventure, my book is translated in English with Monique.
Oh, good. So we can read about Monique in an English translation. Otherwise, keep your eyes out for the next books translated into English, hopefully soon. That's it from us here in the newsroom, but stay with us. More coming up soon.